Hi there. Today I want to talk about the Passover and what it is and what it is not. This might be a little bit controversial in some ways, but the Passover is definitely not the same as what we describe as Easter. And also, the Passover is not a Christian festival. But before you get too upset, just understand a couple of things. First of all, the Passover is a foreshadowing of what occurred and what happened and what we celebrate in Easter. And also, the Passover cannot be a Christian festival because it's a Jewish festival, and it also happened about 14 or 1500 years before Christ. So, starting on that basis, we'll look to the Bible and see exactly what the Passover is. So if we go to Exodus and we go to chapter 12, and it says, Now the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month, which is the month of Nisan, shall be your beginning of months, and it shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, On the 10th of this month every man shall take for himself a lamb, according to the house of his father, a lamb for a household. And then it talks about the lamb. And then verse 6, Now you shall keep it unto the 14th day of the same month. Then the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it at twilight. And they shall take some of the blood and put it on the two doorposts and on the lintel, which is above the door, of the houses where they eat it. Then they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted with fire, with unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. In verse 11, And thus you shall eat it, with a belt on your waist, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. So you shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt on that night, and I will strike all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both men and animals. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. Now the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be on you to destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. So we can see very clearly that this is quite different from what the Good Friday, Jesus' death on the cross and his resurrection, is quite different from that. However, we can also see that it is a foreshadowing of that event. So this was the 10th of the plagues that happened to the land of Egypt. Whenever Moses was asking for the children of Israel to be let go. So this is where Passover came. Now, a couple of really interesting things I think is, number one, every person, every Israelite, every person who was in the land of Goshen, who was a Jew, they all put the blood on the doorposts and the lintel. So that whole nation was spared. And the other fascinating thing I find is whenever the angel of the Lord passed over, they did not look at the worth or the worthiness of the people inside the house. They only looked to see if there was blood on the doorposts and on the lintel, which I think is really fascinating and also very applicable to Good Friday and Resurrection Sunday. Because it's not how worthy or how good or anything in and of ourselves, that no one should boast, as Paul says. It's only through the blood of Jesus Christ that the price can be paid, that the price has been paid on the cross. And that is a complete and total work. Jesus on the cross said, It is finished. And the Greek word apparently for that means it is paid in full. The debt for sin was paid in full by Jesus on the cross. And that's fantastic news, the best news ever. Anyway, I thought I would talk a little bit about the Passover and what it is, and certainly what it isn't, because it's not Easter. We can talk a little bit about Easter maybe next week. So thanks very much for your time, and take care. Bye.